I come from the minimum wage working world of the late 1970s. I graduated high school in 79 and went right into the longer version of summer jobs, which I always had. But this was like 40 hours, 50 hours, for keeps. And I just figured the rest of my life was going to be jobs like this because I had no direction. I didn't want to be like a sailor, a spaceman, a banker. I'll just work these jobs that are hard on the feet, live on top ramen noodles, and live in an apartment with my roommate that smelled of our laundry because he was working too. And so I'd work nights, he'd work days. We kind of see each other passing by. And Black Flag was pals of mine, and they needed a singer, and they said, "Yeah, you're pretty crazy. You want to audition?" And I was 20. And I looked
Black Flag's out here. And you're living...
But they were on tour.
And you're living...
In D.C., Washington.
DC, okay.
Yeah, and they were on tour. I kind of knew them from like months before they came through D.C. And they said, you're pretty crazy. You want to audition? I'm like, that's my favorite band. And I looked at my life like, well, there's probably a job like this tomorrow if I quit this one, $3.75 an hour. And so I auditioned, and they said, okay, you're in. And suddenly everything was different. I said, so what do I do? They go, you quit your job, you pack a bag, you give all your stuff away, and here's a tour itinerary. Meet us as soon as you can. And within several days, I was on a Greyhound bus from D.C. to Detroit. I still have the bus ticket. I quit my job, given away all my stuff, gave my records to my best friend and said, hold on to these in case I ever come back here. I had no idea what was going to happen next. And within 2 weeks, I'm living in a punk rock squat here in Hollywood because we didn't have a place to stay. And so I kind of come from, I'll try anything because I'm not supposed to be in a movie or a TV show or on a stage. So anything. I'm supposed to be with an apron on, putting extra fries with your shake. And so I just say yes to stuff, and I'm 57. And to this day, it's all still kind of surprising to me. Like, hey, you want to be in this? I'm like, yeah. Huh. And I just go do it. But I'm not ever telling you I'm an actor. I'm in this. I'm just like, I'm showing up and saying yes because it'll probably all end next week. You got to always figure. And that's kind of my story is like, yeah, I'll try that because I have nothing to lose. Nothing.
You are like, I don't know. I the first time
just
I heard
lucky,
of you was
basically.
in Boulder. No, and that's the way I look at my life.
Yeah.
I look at you. First time I heard of you was in Boulder with music-wise. A friend of mine, a Snoopy, a girl, turned me on to Black Flag. She also turned me on to the first Biggie Smalls album, just to let you know the contrast
eclectic
in her fucking world. And, I'm like, this is punk rock from the fucking century. She's like, yeah, asshole, what do you think it is? And then the second gentleman to introduce me to you was Mr. Doug Stanhope. When I was out here in 1997, he was going to watch you somewhere, something you were doing. And I go, who the fuck is Henry Rollins? And he put you on, the thing. I think he had an album. I don't know what the fuck it was. And you said something that, whatever you were talking about, something about music, the connection. You and I have, I'm not a tough guy. I come across like a tough guy, but I'm a sweetheart. I'm a pussycat, and I fear everything. And I came from another country. And what made the bridge for me complete, television opened up my eyes, but the bridge was the fucking music. You made a statement that your records never picked on you. Your albums never made fun of you.
Yeah,
your
the Semper Fi. Your record collection is Semper Fi. It never abandons you. Your friends, they come and go. Sometimes you have to sue them. Yeah, there's that. But your records, they always stand straight at attention, waiting for you to deploy, and they don't care if you play them over and over, and if you take good care of them, they'll take good care of you. In fact, you can be kind of abusive to them, and they'll still kind of hang in there. So
you said that, and it just destroyed my insides because I think that's one thing that has been taken away from the American child today. The ability to save $6 from their fucking paper route and walk 2 miles to an album store to buy the latest
skip
Jethro
the bus,
Tull album.
skip lunch, buy the record.
Skip lunch.
Yeah, I did that.
And you cannot wait to get home and put the album on without drugs. This is way, but no drug, no, and just read the lyrics and the thank you to the Sheraton for providing us. If you read the old Van Halen albums, I would always thank the Sheratons. And that's been taken away from us. That's an experience that...
Yeah, it's one of the downsides of streaming and digital. I mean, for me, there's upsides to any advent in any technology that I deal with, which is audio for sure. So online music and streaming allows you to be curious and not have to buy the record. Like, I want to hear Charlie Parker. So you can go online and listen to some great sides of Charlie Parker and go like, that's my new favorite musician, and go get the record. Or like, not for me, but you didn't spend $30 buying a record you can't use. And so I like that. But rarely does your internet curiosity lead to a purchase. And so I like it when you hear some young band, you like them, go buy the record. That band's in a van starving right now. Like, buy 2 copies. And when they come to town, go to the show. And that's how going to the record store was for me growing up. You'd buy the record and you'd see a flyer, that band's coming to town. Of course you're going to go. And I did a lot of, well, it's going to be a 3-mile through the snow walk home, or I can get the second Van Halen record, which was like, that was kind of how I got that record. It's $5 in those days. It was 1888 when I bought that record. But like, you know, you look at your money like, okay. And you just walk through the snow and you get home freezing with that record. And it was never not worth it. And the fact that you can destroy them pretty easily, if you don't take good care of them, you wreck them. And it gave me responsibility. The first thing I ever valued as a kid, like, I'm not going to screw this up, were my records. Everything else, skateboards, bikes, I would just wreck them because you play hard. But my records, especially with punk rock, when like it's like $7 for this single because it's from England, that was like a third of a day's pay to get that, to hear 2 minutes of angry music. And I treated that thing like a Ming vase. And I've had some of these records about 40 years, and they kind of look like the day I got them because I valued that. And I think a lot of that goes away when you can have a streaming account. Because music just becomes this thing that comes out of your phone. And it's not what Robert Plant wanted you to hear when he made that record. He didn't want you to hear an MP3 through your phone, through the headphones that came with your phone.
So that's what I love about you, that you have respect for the artist. Something that has been lost somewhere along the line. Like, I'm the same way. You know, Robert Plant did not want this album. I'm the same way.
It's an older idea. It's an older value set, basically. Where, you know, you and I would hike to the record store and you'd sit in there and get burned by the snarky guy behind the counter. Like, what's that record? Well, if you knew anything, like, dude, just sell me something good. I would get like harshed out by these record store guys. They eventually liked me because I'd hang out so long and ask so many questions. They saw that I was a true record fanatic and they were begrudgingly were nice to me. But a lot of that is gone. And the mecca of the record store, where you'd walk in and there's always like those 3 guys with no lives hanging around by the counter, commenting on what everybody's buying. Like, well, you know, he was better in 76. Like, just, and as an older guy, I don't do that at record stores, but I am one of those guys.
I am one of those guys.
Where I really have to like bite my tongue. And
Yeah,
go,
you
not
have
that
to.
record, the other one.
Why are you getting that? That sucked.
Yeah.
Everybody knows that he left the band before
Yeah,
that.
exactly.
He was having personal issues. And the guy's looking at you like, who gives a fuck if he had personal? I'm telling you, we're going in like fucking Marines. You understand me?
Welcome to church, motherfucker.